Hello, and welcome to our webinar on building relationships using QuaverReady and QuaverHealth and PE. My name is Kara Williams, and I'm a health and PE trainer with QuaverEd. With us today, we also have Ashley Cates, who is another health and PE trainer, and we have Danette Jewell, who is our QuaverReady trainer. So today we're going to talk about that building relationship aspect of the classroom. So why build relationships? For one, it creates a positive environment. And if you think about it, when your environment is positive, your kids are going to feel safe, you're going to feel safe, everyone's going to want to interact with one another, and it really just creates that classroom community that you're striving for. It also is going to increase engagement because once you have a positive environment and people feel safe, they are going to want to participate in the different things that you have planned for your classroom. So you've got these elaborate things you come up with, and sometimes the kids don't want to engage. But once they feel comfortable, that engagement is just going to spike. It's going to go through the roof for you. And then that improves classroom behavior aspect. That's the big one. We want kids to come in and enjoy being in our classroom and not disrupt and cause problems, especially. So if we can get that relationship built in, hopefully it's going to help take down some of those discipline issues that we deal with on a daily basis in today's day and age. But just to get us started on building that community aspect, I'm going to hand it over to Ashley, who's going to talk about one of the things we have on our platform you can use.
Yes, thank you, Kara. So we have this awesome creation called quiz challenges. And quiz challenges are like Jeopardy style fun quizzes that you can do. You can do it as teams, or you can just do it individually as a whole group too. And we have actually created an example for you all about getting to know you or even getting to know one another in your class. I am going to have Kara turn off the background music, and we highly suggest doing that too because it is really loud, especially when you're reading the questions and the students won't hear you like they need to with that. So we have a couple pre-made questions. Kara's going to click on to one of them. Here, this is going to be about me personally, like what is one of my favorite colors, and students can discuss with each other what they think, your teacher's favorite color is. You could actually do a four corners activities where students could move to the corner of the room that's like for A, corner of the room for B, C, or D. Or you can even use our text box feature and assign movements to the different letters, like arm circles for A, punches for B. Then once you have the majority of the answers, you select which one you want to do. And Kara knew ahead of time that my favorite color was yellow and clicked on it. So we do have that available. What's so great about these quiz challenges is everybody has the opportunity to create their own in both brands. So when you go to your dashboard, in that top section, you're going to see resource creation. And when you click into resource creation, you are going to click on the icon that says quiz challenge. And when you click into that icon, it's got a variety of ways that you can set up. You have multiple categories that you have multiple rows of questions that you can do. And so you can actually take away categories, you can take away rows of questions, and actually rename some of those categories too with that. Once you have that, you can select the box and insert the questions that you want, along with up to 4 answers. Now, with these answers, you do have to select at least one correct answer, but another great feature is they can all be correct if you have like an opinionated question too. And with these questions, you can add an image or an audio file just to have that visual or that auditory aspect of it for your students. Once you have everything ready, you click save, and then you continue on building out this quiz challenge. Make sure you click save once you have everything, and what it will be saved to is a folder in a resource manager called My Custom Screens, and you can launch it from your resource manager. Okay, I'm going to turn it over to Danette for our next. Or Kara.
See, I think this one's me. This one's
yes.
Uniqueness. I'm going to start it off. Danette's going to join us in a second, but I'm going to start it with the QuaverHealth and PE version for uniqueness. We always think of unique when we think of uniqueness, and that's our QuaverReady product. So we're just going to kind of take you through some different versions that we have of that. So the first one we have is going to be a choreography video to the actual song Unique that is found in the QuaverHealth and PE platform. And it's literally going to take that song that we've all grown to love, and it puts that movement aspect to it. So now you can use it for indoor recess. You can use it for a brain break. You can use it really wherever you want. I'm going to kind of skip to the middle here. I just want you to see a little tidbit of what this is going to look like for you and your student.
The world's an oyster, you're the pearl at who you really are, unfurl. Just be exactly who you are.
I'm going to pause it right there. So you get the idea. It just gets the kids, gets them up, gets them moving. Notice how simple the choreography is. So it's really easy for the kids to follow along with and just have fun. It's even fun if the teacher gets involved, because again, that's going to go back to that community building part where you really want to build those relationships. And the more involved you get with things, the more the students feel comfortable with it as well. Now, this is only available in the QuaverHealth and PE platform, but lucky you, we've got this thing over here in our settings called the QR code. I'm going to click on that. If you scan this, you can pause the video and scan it. You will have access to that movement song to use in your classroom or share out with your parents or students as well. So now we're going to move ahead, and Danette's going to show us a little more on how to build that uniqueness.
So this printable is in the QuaverReady curriculum, and it's a great addition to that song we just listened to, where it's all about celebrating our unique differences. So with this printable, students can decorate the left side of the person with all the things you see on the outside that make us unique. So maybe our hair, our clothes, our shoes. And then on the right side, we can fill that in with all the things that make us unique that you can't see. Maybe you're helpful or kind or responsible. And then at the bottom, they can describe their personality. This one could be a really great thing to have students work on and hang up as a display so everyone can recognize everyone's unique personality traits. Remember, you can grab this one via the QR code on the screen if you would like to use this resource, even if you aren't a QuaverReady user currently.
Mm-hmm. All right. Now we're going to hand it back over to Ashley, and we're going to talk about kindness.
Kindness is huge in building relationships because nobody wants to hang out with somebody that's mean to them. So actually, this resource is available in both QuaverReady and QuaverHealth and PE. This is called Kindness is My Jam. So on the first part of this activity, we're going to identify these song titles that are on the screen, the kind ones and the unkind ones. So the ones that you think are kind, you're going to highlight and click. So we have You're an Awesome Friend, Excuse Me, Can I Get By, and Good Job. And we're going to check to see if those are correct. And we are. And anytime on the screen you see an arrow, that's called a pagination arrow on our resources. And that means that there's more information and more activities that you can do. So when we click on that pagination arrow, I love this aspect of the screen because now students can like form into small groups and choose one of these kind songs and develop a song about it. So we're going to see that creativity side with the students along with that collaboration piece with it. And then there's one more piece to this activity on that third screen. This is called Kindness is My Jam. So it's going to be kind of like a freeze dance. So as the music, when Kara clicks start here in a second, as she clicks start, there's going to be music that's playing. You can have your students clap along to the music, or you can have them like move around the room or even dance in their own spot. When the music turns off, what's going to happen is students are going to find a friend really quick and tell them something kind about their friend. So we'll play a little snippet of the music if you want to dance along with us or clap.
Kind words feel so good to hear and say. Shows you are a good friend. Kind words.
And then they would share kind words with their friends, something I'm going to share kind to Kara and Danette. I love working with these two. They are fabulous trainers and we have a great relationship. So that would be an example of kind words. And then to continue on, you click OK and it would
Make the sad face go away, 'cause everybody loves them.
Okay, I'm going to turn it over to Danette for our
Ooh,
quiz.
share
Oh,
that
wait, before
QR
we go,
code,
yes, even though it's in both brands, if this is something you do want to share, like with the families of your students or with other educators, definitely scan that QR code or use that resource link for that too. Or if you're not a user yet for QuaverReady or QuaverHealth and PE, definitely scan that QR code to use and test it out. Now I'm going to turn over to Danette.
Now Danette gets to go.
Yay. All right. One of my favorite activities to practice using kind words is this Thought Blaster game. So this is going to bring across a lot of phrases that Eric here is thinking. And the job is going to be to click on any negative thoughts to remove them from Eric's brain before he says them. So really teaches that skill of thinking about what we say and if it's necessary before we say it to someone. So whenever Kara pushes start, a lot of phrases are going to move by and we're going to click on those negative ones to get them out of the way. Here we go. Starting out with some positive ones. That's good. So we're doing good, getting some.
Lots of good ones coming in.
Yeah.
Wow.
positive day today.
Very.
Kara, you're doing great.
Oh, there's one. It's getting fast now. Oh. I'm stopping the game because I don't like to lose.
Okay. Yes, when you get a bunch right, like Kara was doing, they start going faster and faster. And so it gets harder to catch up with. But students love this, and it's going to give them a lot of great things to not only say if they want to use kind words, but things that they should maybe avoid to not let those negative thoughts creep in. If you want to make this really fun and turn it into a movement game, you can always have the students do a sit-stand activity with it. Maybe they're going to sit down if it's a negative thought, but stand up when they see a positive thought. So they're getting some movement in, doing some squats, but also practicing kind words. If you would like a link to this game, go ahead and grab that QR code on our screen. Your students will absolutely love this.
All right. Moving on, I believe the next one is me, and we're going to talk about problem solving. And so to talk about problem solving in HPE, we have the Bobby the Beanbag warm-up. Now, Bobby the Beanbag is built out just like hot potato from your childhood, where you pass something around, and while you're singing the song, it's moving, but when the song stops, with our version, a question is going to pop up on the screen that the students will answer. So if you're in a classroom setting, you could have them passive and manipulative. They could be doing some sort of arm movements or stands and sits, really however you want to do it. And then when the music stops, they could either popcorn those answers out, or the person holding the manipulative can be the one to answer the question. So I'm going to keep it in game mode here. I'm going to press start just so you can see what this is going to look like.
Are you ready?
So the music's playing and students will be passing the manipulative.
Are you really ready? Well, let's go.
Let's go.
So notice that question's going to pop up, and Bobby the Beanbag is one of our kindergarten first grade level warm-ups. So the questioning is going to be geared towards that level of student. Now, that being said, there is no reason you couldn't use this activity with your 3rd through 5th graders as well, because sometimes those simple questions are the best ones to get a conversation started, even with your older kids. Now notice I did have it on game mode. If I turn game mode off, I can still use the same activity, but now as the teacher, I am in control of what's going on. So when I press play, right here, that music starts. And when I pause it, that's when my question would pop up, which gives me a little more classroom management. I can make sure the kids are paying attention and things of that sort. Now, this is available in the QuaverHealth and PE platform, and I'm going to go ahead and share that QR code. So if you want to use this exact resource with your students, go ahead and grab that code, and you'll be able to use it as well. Now, Danette's going to show us something in the QuaverReady platform.
All right. We use 4 corners to talk about conflict. So we know a big part of problem solving is being able to get through a conflict. So here we have several prompts. Students are going to answer that prompt by moving to an area of the room that matches their response. So that statement like, when I have a conflict with a friend, what should I do first? So if they think that they should just ignore it, they're going to move to that top left part of the classroom. If they feel like they need to take a minute to calm down, they're going to move to the bottom right or left-hand corner of the classroom. So moving to the corner that matches that area of the screen. So it gives everyone a chance to think about ways to solve conflict and talk about why some ways can work better than others. If you want to switch this up, I know sometimes it's hard to have 25, 30 students moving in your classroom. You can always add these little text boxes and maybe have students do some movements from their seat. So if they choose to ignore conflict at first, they could do a neck roll. If they want to go talk to somebody else and tell a friend about it, maybe they're going to show you arm circles. So they're still getting to interact, they're getting some movement in and thinking about these conflict statements, but they're not having to move all around the classroom. So there are several different prompts. You can scroll through that arrow on the screen to get their thoughts on these different parts of conflict. And it's a nice way for them to also get into movement. So if you would like a copy of this, we will share out that QR code now.
Whoop, hold on. There it goes. So there's that QR code, scan that, and you will have access to that resource. All right, we're going to move on, and now we're going to talk about building community. And Ashley, we're going to let you start this one off.
Yes, so the last part of our webinar is going to be about community. So once we have fostered that relationship, feel supported and positive, we have that family aspect, that community aspect once we all have done that. So in the Quaver Health and PE side, we have a resource called Just Like Me. This is a great way to find out similarities amongst classmates and with one another with that. So on the screen, you're going to see, we do have like a little visual of how it's set up, but there's going to be a circle of different colored poly spots. Everybody's going to be standing on one. And then one person is going to be in the middle and is going to be their speaker. And they're going to say something out loud that they like, maybe a hobby, maybe a slice of pizza like they have on the screen. So just different similar qualities that people might like. And if you are one of those people that have a similar likeness, you're actually going to leave your poly spot and move to another poly spot in the group and take that place. If you are left with that one, you become the speaker of the group in the middle, and then you name out a thing that you like too with that. So like I said, this is a Quaver Health and PE resource. There is music on the screen. I saw Kara was going over to it. There's a go and stop signal available. But you can also access this. We're going to put the QR code on the screen for you all to have that activity available if you want to pause the video or even type in that URL that's below it. And I'm going to hand it over to
That's a
Denise
lot of
for our
fun.
lesson.
Yeah, I think that would go well with like those unique songs and activities that
Mhm.
we talked about earlier.
Exactly.
Here's another way to celebrate those different personality traits. It's within the QuaverReady curriculum. So this one, students would take some time to describe their personality, some things that maybe come easy to them or make them proud. Once they've had a chance to have some discussion, we're going to scroll over to the next part of the screen to get several personality traits, and they're kind of on this sliding scale system. So students are going to think about, for example, the first one, musical versus non-musical. Am I more on the musical side? Am I not so musical, or somewhere in between? And what's nice is a lot of our screens are interactive. Students can come right up to the board and move that slider and make their choice right on the screen, which is really cool. To add a little bit of movement to this one, I love to have the students just line up down the center of the classroom in one straight single file line, and then actually physically move to the side of the classroom based on where they fit on that sliding scale. So maybe they're going to move all the way to the side of the classroom where musical is, if they're very musical. Maybe they're going to physically move all the way to the non-musical side of the classroom, or somewhere in between. And this is building that community because yes, we're celebrating our unique personality traits, but we're also finding common ground with other people around us. So we're going to see that maybe a student that we didn't know very well is also very musical, and we now have something in common. Or maybe you as the educator can jump in to do this with the students, and you can find some commonalities with them as well. So maybe you find out that you and another student are both very musical, and you can talk more about things you like to play or sing, and it's just going to foster those connections, which is something that's so important to make our day a success. All
I
right,
think
if
you've
you
got
would
a
like
couple
the
of other
QR.
screens here too. So like there's a lot of extra stuff we can talk about too.
Yeah, and one thing I
Which is
also like
cool.
to do is use that text box feature that we saw earlier
Mhm.
and just put in your own words, let the
Oh, that's a good
student
idea.
move to the side of the room for all kinds of different things. You could even pull in topics, about academic stuff or their opinions on different things. So lots of ways to modify our screens and kind of make them work
You
for
could
you.
even bring in like current events and music and stuff like that that they like. That'd be cool.
Yeah, I love that.
All right.
All
There
right,
is
here's
that
that QR code. If you want to
code.
try that cool activity with your students, you can scan that one. They will love that.
All right. So I do believe that's going to finish out our session for today. So let me see if I can go back here and get it back to you real quick. For some reason, my internet is not working great, but that's okay because we have finished our webinar for today. Thank you so much for joining us on building relationships with QuaverReady and QuaverHealth and PE. Again, this was Ashley, Danette, and Kara that took you through this, and I hope you will take some of these activities, use them with your students, and again, go through, rewind it, pull those QR codes, and just really have some fun building that classroom community. Thanks so much, and have a great day.
Thank you all.
Thank you.